The Bajaj Pulsar range of bikes arguably brought performance biking screeching into India way back in 2001. The Pulsar 150 and 180 gave Indian riders a new kind of thrill, and then they launched a 220. When we learned the newest Pulsar to be unveiled was a staggering, wait for it, 135cc, we were just a little disappointed. But before you dismiss this young stallion from the Bajaj stable as a blatant abuse of the Pulsar tag, take a closer look.
Bajaj has suddenly shed something in the region of about 60-80 cubic centimeters and got down to making a Pulsar for the masses. And this is a bike, the 135 Pulsar, which is very, very different compared to all its bigger brothers. What's important in the technology, the principles behind it, and delivering pleasure in the true aesthetic manner which Europeans and the Americans always try to get out of their machines.
Firstly, the styling. The clever lines clearly hinted at an agile predator. The classic sculpting of the fuel tank with its elegant knee recesses, the protruding haunches and those razor-edge flank flaps, coupled to the rakish headlamp cowl, are really very visually appealing. But the tail section with the very sexy rear end and an innovative number plate holder are where the design team really scored. The split seat and detailing leave no doubt this is a bike with all the classic Pulsar genes in it.
It's got a longer wheelbase than the Pulsar 150. It's got power and torque which is close, the absolute figures are very close to the 150. It sheds 21 kilograms compared to the 150 and it goes like blazes.
This all-new Bajaj Pulsar engine is the first romance of DTSI technology with a 4-valve engine. Possibly the first 4-valve to hit the Indian market, not counting the GF 125. Bringing with it greater fuel efficiency, but also an adrenaline-pumping 13.5 bhp. This engine offers superb acceleration not just from standstill to 60, but through the gears. The engine revs to an excess of 10,000 RPM, about 1,000 revs higher than the Pulsar 150. We got to chat with motorcycle design sensei Ishikawa-san about this new breed.
The man who is Mr. Motorcycling as far as I am concerned. Ishikawa-san.
Yes.
Good that we are not riding together today so that no falls for anyone.
Okay.
Okay?
No ditches either.
No ditches either. Okay. I remember you telling me something that now you are trying to get across to a mainstream, international, contemporary standard. Can you just elaborate on what you mean by that?
I think the biggest difference between international taste of motorcycle and Indian taste motorcycle, Indian people likes the initial kick. They call pickup. So low-end torque is very important. But internationally, you may have a pretty flat torque curve from bottom to top.
Yeah.
And you try to rev engines. And when you go to the corner, you control
with the throttle.
Right.
You take the corner with the throttle, not with anything else.
If you push the gas,
Yeah.
it goes.
It goes.
So, this engine runs like 10,000 RPM. It's just international standard.
And you got something which is totally different from, let's not talk about the Pulsar. It is a Pulsar in essence and in character. Yes. Even though it may not have the cubic capacity. But it more than makes up with the hardware which has got.
I think you really enjoy motorcycling in this way. Because, going to the corner, shift down, and you just enjoy. And I think handling, very light handling.
Very light.
So this is a power-weight ratio motorcycle.
But what I find very, very good about it is this engine has got a very strong sense of feeling. The delivery is good. When do you think the 4-valve head with the DTSI setup transcends across to the 220 or the 250? When does it happen?
I cannot talk.
What is happening, is it?
No comment.
Okay, so gentlemen, the most important thing, no comments in this business in the automotive world normally tell you that something's brewing.
This bike is about riding pleasure. It's not just that it drifts up to 115 kmph, or that the delivery of power is refined yet aggressive. It is also about the balance of agility and comfort. This bike is rock steady, and it takes corners like an Olympic ice skater.
Power to weight ratio is really seeing what this bike gets and exploits to the hilt. But more important than that, in the real world where you want to talk about safety, is the great weight distribution on the machine, the way the front end really sticks and steers and it can go where you point it to. Under braking, very stable, in a straight line, she is just awesome.
This is essentially a city bike. It does everything you ask it to do, and that little bit extra, which is sure to give the competition several sleepless nights.